to swing a lightsaber.
The incredible stunt team was providing the actors with the skills they needed. And Kendo obviously was an approach that allowed them to bring to life these intense fights that they had planned.
One of our trainers trained in the art of Kendo, and he was really particular about stance, about the mentality.
The posture, the foot movements, the speed at which you move your feet. There's very specific strikes, but it's really the focus, where you have the clarity and that calmness to it.
It's a spiritual thing. Like Kendo, it's great to have those close core combat kind of moves. So it's an element of danger, and it's fast, it's aggressive, but at the same time, as an image, it looks really, really beautiful in a sense, and I think that's what JJ is going to capture.
For me, the thing that was the most powerful were the lightsaber fights from the original trilogy.
You are beaten. It is useless to resist.
They were incredibly emotional and very powerful. In Force Awakens, we tried to approach it from a point of view of a rougher, more primitive kind of fight as opposed to a more choreographed one.
Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. We're almost at Star Wars The Force Awakens. Some of you are actually probably seeing it right now. But Mark Hamill just did this big ESPN special about the evolution of the lightsaber fight from, episode 4 to 6 and then episode 1 to 3. And then they talked a little bit about what's going on in Star Wars The Force Awakens. So I'm mostly going to focus on the new stuff. There is a new round of the Star Wars giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and leave a comment on this video. It's 2 IMAX gift certificates, so it's like a $50 value, I think. So here we go. Most of you probably know that the Star Wars lightsaber fights are based on the Kendo style of fighting, the way they hold the blades with 2 hands. Mark Hamill will sometimes tell the story of during Return of the Jedi, because Luke had gotten so much better with the lightsaber, he kept asking George while they were filming the scenes, hey, could I use one hand? Because I could actually do some really crazy choreography if you let me let go with one of my hands. And George Lucas was adamant. He's like, no, you absolutely have to be holding the lightsabers with both hands. The reasoning was that they were supposed to be incredibly heavy, like lightsabers were supposed to weigh a ton. The logic aside, Ray Park said that when he was working on his Darth Maul style, when he was going to use the double-bladed lightsaber, he actually had to make the hilt way longer than George Lucas originally intended. Like originally it was like a really small lightsaber with just 2 blades sticking out, but Ray Park very wisely told him that, look, if I were to try and swing this around the way you want me to, I would slice the crap out of myself. So after he explained the mechanics of a double-bladed weapon to George Lucas, he kind of relented, so he wound out with Darth Maul's giant hilted double-bladed lightsaber, which actually looks very similar to Rey's staff. Now, Rey's staff is supposed to just be a staff, so I think that, there's a lot of Tusken Raider staff imagery in there, along with Darth Maul's double-bladed lightsaber. But the fights themselves, especially when they got to the prequels, like so much extra attention was laid into the fights just because it was supposed to be Jedi in their prime, so their style would be much more refined. They tried to turn the fights into like mini stories in and of themselves. Like the fight itself told a story. It wasn't just them fighting because they wanted to kill or defeat someone. So it's almost like this interpretive dance thing, like, let the blade do the talking, let the gun do the talking. That sounds like something Han Solo would do, just speak with his blaster. But if the style of the lightsaber fights in the prequels was really evolved, J.J. Abrams said that because of the state of the Force and the state of Jedi teachings where we are in The Force Awakens in Episode 7, the fights are way more primitive, way more brutal. Like Kylo Ren versus Finn here, Luke had already received a lot of training from Yoda when he went up against Vader, even though he was very inexperienced, got his ass handed to him. But even though Luke and Finn don't really know a lot, they're not really learned in lightsaber kata, it's all based on the spiritual and physical teachings of Kendo. So take that and then throw in personality, like they add the characters' personalities and that kind of informs their personal style, but it all flows from the same energy, as does the Force. Now I feel like we're all in agreement that this lightsaber that Finn is wielding is Anakin Skywalker's, but Kylo Ren's lightsaber is way more interesting to me, at least right now, before I've seen the movie. I haven't seen it yet as I'm making this video. But what the producers, J.J. Abrams, everyone behind the movie has clarified is that this is not a crossguard saber. Those are just exhaust ports for excess heat. The lightsaber itself tells you a lot about Kylo Ren and his personality. Teachings cobbled together in the absence of a really strong Jedi master. Super hot-headed, super brutal. Think about the way Vader reacts to people that he doesn't like he's very casual with it, force choking the shit out of people. Kylo Ren, much more hot-headed, because just like Luke, whenever he fought Vader, was very inexperienced, Kylo Ren himself, not a Jedi Master, probably not even a full Dark Jedi Knight, or Sith, however you want to think about it. So when you're watching the characters, just think about the way they fight and how that flows from the same type of energy, and how the characters throw their own spin on that based on their personalities, and even how each fight tells its own story independent of like the larger story, the narrative. The problem here is, like, I'm posting this video is that very few people have seen the movie, so like we could surmise a lot of things about what's going on between Finn and Kylo Ren here. Finn using Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber, Kylo Ren really wanting it, being a Vader fanboy. But just to avoid potential spoilers, if you do want to talk about like what might be going on with Kylo Ren's character in the movie, please use spoiler tags, because a lot of people won't get to see the movie for at least another week. I think New Zealand is getting it first. Some of you guys should be seeing it tonight. America gets it Thursday at midnight, so I'm not going to see it for at least another day and a half or so. Then I think China is supposed to be the last country to get it, and that's not till like the beginning of January. So I'm going to do a bunch more Star Wars videos. I'll do a non-spoilery review with absolutely no spoilers in it. Then I'll do a separate spoilery review just in case. It'll be all kinds of Star Wars all weekend long. It's going to be so much fun. Let me know in the comments, though, what is your favorite lightsaber fight in all of Star Wars? You know, from the prequels to the Clone Wars, like anywhere in Star Wars, even the comic books. I feel like a lot of people's favorite might be Yoda versus Sidious, but there was actually this panel from a Star Wars comic book recently where a whole bunch of people that don't normally get lightsabers got to fight with lightsabers. It was a really nice spin on the sail barge fight during Return of the Jedi, where R2 ejects Luke's lightsaber. He ejects like 3 or 4, and like everybody in the party gets lightsabers. This is why you need to be reading the Star Wars comic, because of stuff like this. If you are looking for a really cool Star Wars comic to read, and you've already read this one, or you're just not really digging it, there's another new Star Wars title called Vader Down that you should definitely check out. Everybody just hold on a little bit longer, and if you're wondering when people are going to start posting their reviews like websites and stuff, that's going to start on Wednesday, so just beware for spoilery Star Wars reviews if you're trying to avoid that kind of stuff. While you guys wait for my next video to post, you can click here for all my Star Wars trailer videos, and you can click here to learn all about Valyrian swords, the closest thing you get to lightsabers on Game of Thrones. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tonight.